Joe Hopkins here, and today I'm taking a look at my budget acoustics for a reason, right? Everybody asks about the tone you get from different woods. Especially with acoustic guitars, it matters, right? With electric guitars, I think the pickups matter more than anything else. The strings make a pretty big difference, the hardware that's on it. The body is just a hunk of wood, unless you got a hollow body, and even then it only contributes so much. But on acoustic guitars, the wood really matters, right? So I'm going to start with one of the most common wood combinations. I've got my Harley Benton 12 string. Now, I tuned all these guitars just now. I'm hoping that they stay in tune pretty good. There's temperature changes back here in my studio and whatnot. But, I'm sure it'll be good enough for demonstration purposes. This is, like I said, my Harley Benton 12 string. And I'd used a 6 string, but I only had this wood combination on my 12 string. It's the most common that I've seen. Spruce top, mahogany sides and back. Right? Pretty common. And it gives a pretty clear, bright tone. I think that's why people like it, Sounds like it's mostly staying in tune. It takes a while to get a 12 string in tune, and then, climate happens. You tune one, by the time you tune the others, the first one's falling out a little bit again, but you get the idea of the tone. Nice, bright tone. The spruce top gives something, it gives the guitar a nice bright tone, and the mahogany resonates really well, and spruce top, mahogany body is pretty common, and it has a nice, a nice, bright resonance to it. Yeah, there we go. It's falling a little bit out of tune, but you get the idea. And like I said, most common woods used, spruce and mahogany, sounds good. I love the way it sounds. And definitely a good sounding combination is probably why people use it so much. Very playable, nice, pleasant tone to it. Like I said, it sounds clear, it sounds crisp, all the notes ring through well. It's a good combination of woods to use in a guitar. So, that's that one. Let's go to, I've got another Harley Benton, my Delta Blues. This one is all mahogany. Mahogany top, mahogany sides and back, all mahogany guitar. And I've found that, I love the way this sounds. I've found that when it's all mahogany, it tends to get a deeper tone, like a little richer. Kind of like the spruce and mahogany, but with a little bit darker tone to it, but still clear. You can hear all the notes. It rings through well, it records well. Yeah, it's a good sounding guitar, Especially for strumming. I like it for recording. I like the resonance of it. All mahogany has a nice kind of, not muddy, but darker. And I kind of like that for blues. I especially like maybe the spruce and mahogany for, country, folk, western music, that kind of stuff. I really like the all mahogany for blues. It just has a deeper, bluesier tone to it. That's just my opinion. You make up your own opinion. But it sounds good. Mahogany is a commonly used wood in acoustic guitars, so it's good to know how does it sound, right? Now, all these guitars I've reviewed before, so you can go to my reviews playlist and check them out if you want, but we'll go on to the next one. This is my Xaviere acoustic, and it's got also spruce top, like with the 12 string, but this has rosewood sides and back. which I find with the spruce top, it still gives it that nice bright clarity, but seems to have a little bit deeper resonance with the rosewood, and it's definitely a little bit louder than the others. It's got a little more, it rings out more. I don't know if that's the rosewood or it's a little bit bigger bodied than the Delta Blues, than the Mahogany one, but either way, it's got a very similar tone to the spruce and Mahogany, but with the spruce and rosewood, it just, I don't know, it sounds a touch darker, not as dark as the all Mahogany. The spruce top gives it a lot of that clarity and crispness to it, but the rosewood does seem to give it a certain amount of just depth. Yeah, I love the way this sounds. I really wanted a spruce and rosewood guitar, and I bought this one, and it does have a very deep sound. My dad had a guitar that was a rosewood body. I think a spruce top, I'm not 100% sure, but I always liked the way it sounded, and, you know, this one sounds pretty good. You actually see my dad's old one right up there. You can see the corner of it. That had a rosewood body on it, but it got old and more or less started coming apart, you know? So, spruce and rosewood. It's a good sound. It's an excellent sound. Those are the three, you know, newer budget guitars I have with their different types of wood. But there's something else that you might run across when you're budget shopping, you're going to pawn shops or used instrument stores or junk shops you might run across. I have an old Synsonics Pro Series. This is the old school budget guitar from back in the day. It's laminate, which means it's pretty much plywood, right? And I mean, you hear about those. People hear about them. You don't see that as much nowadays. But you hear about back in the day, they would make guitars out of plywood and, cheap budget guitars. But it doesn't sound half bad at all. It's why I bought it. I like the look. It's got that nice country western look. And I actually like the way it sounds. You know, I've recorded with it. I've played it at a ton of gigs. I don't mind it at all. Now, I could be wrong, but I am pretty sure that this is like just some kind of laminate, you know? It was a cheap guitar in its time. It was a cheap guitar when I bought it. I bought it well used, you know, but it doesn't sound half bad. You can hear it's got a more muted tone to it. And doesn't really ring out as much, you know? It's just a touch muddy, but what I found is great is I usually keep this tuned to some kind of open tuning, like E or E minor, and I'll play slide on it a lot, because I really like the way, let me see, I don't have it tuned open, so I'm just going to fiddle around a little bit, but I like the way it sounds with a slide, you know? Yeah, there we go. Trying to find the chords. Like I said, I usually keep this open tuned. But I like the way it sounds with a slide. It gets kind of like that real old blues sound. You know, I can dig it. Because them old blues guys, they played on a lot of really cheap, junky guitars. It's also got some dust on it. I've had it hanging up. Usually, you can see it in my videos hanging up right here. And I haven't played it much lately. Definitely not as clear and crisp a sound as the others, but still a pretty good sound. I like it. And I mean, maybe you like it. If you find a guitar you like, man, if you like the way it sounds, who cares if it's cheap? Who cares if it's cheaply made, if it's old junk? If you like the way it sounds, then you like the way it sounds. I dig this one, actually. So, and it plays pretty good. So hey, there's a little overview of 4 different guitars with 4 different types of wood, manufactured, you know, with different stuff on it and how they sound. So you can have an idea when you're looking at that list of guitars that your favorite guitar maker has, and they have all sorts of different woods listed. How's this going to sound? How's that going to sound? And like I said, the most common is spruce top with mahogany body, but you find all kinds of different stuff out there, especially when you look at like tone wood guitars. And I don't have a lot of them. I don't have tons of different guitars with different woods and all that kind of stuff. But these are the most common. And you would think, like, you know, the El Cheapo Laminate isn't that common anymore, but you find these a lot in those used guitar stores. You find them used, you find them in pawn shops, because they used to make a ton of these. So there you have it. There's a nice little overview of what does each of them sound like, you know? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit subscribe, and I love you guys. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.